she deserves another round. Discussion to the back, and all those people who are doing funny things at the back were seen. And thank you, panelists. This is the last panel, so take heart. I'd like to call Barrack and Fiona, please, to come to the front. And it will be very short, but as they come, I'd like to ask, how many of you Hindi or IGF in your first? Your very first IGF to attend? So, especially for those ones which is the first IGF to attend, I'd like to know some things that you will take home from this meeting. And all of you will be represented by the guy with the hard name. Oh, very good.
Okay, just one of the things that I'll take home is there's a lot that we don't know. Yeah, I mean, people like me.
Something about ICT, IGF.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, actually didn't know a lot till I came here.
Yeah,
I didn't know about the intellectual property, and especially in my area, domain names, how it will affect me, and how it will affect my products and my business and that kind of thing. Yeah.
Thank you. And for the people who've been here over and over again, I think you can see that these discussions are not in vain. It takes us somewhere. And then also, for those guys which is the first time, I'm sure all of you on Twitter, right? Or Facebook. Even me, I joined Twitter the other day. And I am at Bomu. Please, if there's a word that was used that you don't know, an acronym, I know people kept saying all these kinds of acronyms. I'm sure even among you there's somebody who does not quite know what IGF is. Yeah, tweet us. We shall reply. We promise to reply because it's in the public domain. And now quickly, I'll give Barrack to just give us a quick roundup of emerging issues from today's discussion.
Okay, thank you, Grace. I'll be very brief. I'm actually going to just give a summary. First, I would like to say that we have compiled a report of all the online discussions. We are just cleaning it up and doing some final editorial work. So if you want to access this report, it will be posted on the KICTANet list for debate and corrections where necessary, and then we shall treat that as the report for the 2015 Kenya IGF. Most of the issues, or rather most of the items that we had in the discussion program are the same ones that we have tackled in this face-to-face meeting. So it's really nothing strange. So if you're not on KICTANet, kindly look for Grace so that you can be included on the mailing list. So a summary of some of the issues that we have discussed. So in the morning session, we basically, the key session was the keynote address of the Cabinet Secretary's speech. And I think one important item that was discussed there was the development of the critical infrastructure bill, which was later on tackled by Fiona. So Fiona is on the KICTANet list. She's also here if you're really interested in participating in the process or knowing how you can participate in the process, because it's very important that you actually be involved in this particular process. The next session was on inclusiveness and diversity, and the focus was on enhancing multi-stakeholder cooperation. And one of the issues that was raised was the fact that over the years we've had the same faces in the internet governance process or in these discussions. I think this point has been emphasized by many other speakers again and again, but the fact that we have almost 90% of newcomers in the room today shows that indeed the tsunami has come. And so I think the encouragement is that let's be involved. I think involvement is the only way in which we be able to grasp some of the issues that are here. Most of us, when we got involved for the first time, we didn't know what was happening where. But with time, you get used to this, and I'm sure we shall be, many who've been around for a while will also be sitting at the back of the room and listening to the new team that is here as you chart the way forward in so far as issues of internet governance are concerned. The other issue that was raised by the government representative was the need for constructive engagement. I think that's an important take home. They say they're not afraid, but it matters how we engage them. So I think that is to say that we need to learn the language of government, or we need to learn how to deal with government. I think that's an important take home. On cyber security and trust, I think some of the important take homes were the reports that are being generated by TESCO, and of course there was contribution from the flow for the different key stakeholders to collaborate so that they can be able to release, should I say, better reports or more enriched reports. So I think that was an important take home. But of course, we've heard of the great work that is happening in this area, both by the industry, led by TESCO, and by the government through the Communications Authority, but that there's still a lot that is to be done in this area. On internet economy and critical internet resources, of course, we've tackled the issue of taxation of electronic goods and services, and Michuki was able to was able to share with us that it can be a barrier to development of this sector, but these are things that we need to think about. I think the importance of the legislation for the electronic commerce was also highlighted by Dr. Nyanchama, who was here. It will encourage more investors to venture into online business. When there is no clear legislation, then it discourages people, because in the event of a problem, you have no recourse. I think on emerging issues, we've heard a lot about internet and human rights, and we've had examples of Ushahidi as some of the apps that have been developed in this area. We've been given an update by Grace Kivaiga on the WSIS review. WSIS plus 10, I think this is an important year, so keep checking online. I think one of the important sources is the Internet Governance Forum website. You can go to www.intgovforum.org just to keep abreast with what is happening in this field. I think that is basically a quick summary on what we have been able to cover this day, but I still encourage you to be on the lookout on KICTANet for the report that has been prepared. Okay, I'll hand over to the chair. There is a question or a comment from the floor.
Oh, thank you. I think Liz wants people to know that, especially for those who this is their first IGF to attend, that other than this national IGF, is that what you want people to know? That there is a global IGF and that there is a fellowship.
This fellowship being offered by ISOC.
By ISOC and the deadline is tomorrow. Yeah, and I think this gives you all an opportunity to socialize with Liz after this so that she can give you more details on the same. I'd like to take this opportunity. Liz is the one who was registering you. Please wait. Thank you. And now I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of you for being here today and for staying the whole day, for taking interest. It has been an interesting IGF. We've had so many questions. At times the line was going all the way to the back, so it was meaningful participation. And for that, I'd like you to just give yourself a hand. I'd like to thank all our speakers and moderators. I know most of them are not here, but thank you so much for your contribution to the discussion, for helping us go through it. And also, please give them a hand. I'd like to thank all the remote participants. Thank you. Yeah, we've had people following us on Twitter the whole day. They've asked questions, some of which were brought here, and we thank them for being with us in spirit. A clap for them, please. Right, and I'd also like to thank the organizing team led by Grace Gidaiga, the other Grace, Ali, who was here before with us. I think you remember him, the gentleman in the morning. Mwendwa, who was rapporteuring. Barrack, who just gave a report. Liz, who will be socializing with you after this. Anyone else? No, he didn't join us today. And of course, yours truly, always, and Potters himself. And Victor Capio and yours truly. That was the organizing team. If you could please give them a clap. We'd also like to thank our sponsors. This could not have been possible without them. You see that this was quite a big number, and they catered for us very well. We had a nice central location, which is very important for most of the young people attending the IGF today. We thank you so much. We would not have done it without you. We'd like to especially mention UNESCO, and we have Jakob, the representative. Thank you so much for your kindness, and also for staying and participating throughout the discussion. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Kenik, for your support. Toilem, when you go back, tell Kenik that we are always amazed that even with the change of personalities, the organization has always supported the IGF, and I think that is the mark of a good institution, that we are always supported. So, clap for Kenik. TESPOC as well, we thank you so much. You have always made sure that we can talk to each other in the room throughout all the IGFs, and you've always also really insisted on young people's participation, or at least Fiona personally has always insisted on young people's participation. So thank you so much. And with this partnership, ISOC Africa, we thank you so much for providing the streaming. I was shocked to learn that ISOC Africa is only 3 people, the whole bureau, yet they are so, it's 5, eh? Yeah, yet they are so present in all our discussions every time. So should please take our regards to ISOC Africa. We are very grateful. And KICTANet, we thank you so much for providing the logistical support and for providing also the platform through which we're able to have discussions. And Grace, when you go back online where you live, please tell KICTANet that we are very grateful. And now it's my singular duty and pleasure to call upon Fiona to officially close for us.
My closing remarks are going to be very brief. I think this is what This is what we used to have in the beginning. It's been a long time since we had a gathering like this with a multi-stakeholder representation of participants, and that is very important in terms of moving forward. We've always been known as Kenya to lead by example, and I think sometimes we lead and lead and until we find, we are the same people, but I like to see new blood because I know I'm going to hand over a lot of things I'm running with to a number of people I've met today. I hope you don't feel overly challenged. I'd like to just let you know we don't dump them on you and run away. We dump them on you and walk with you. As Michuki kept on saying earlier, Fiona will hold your hand and walk with you. And I do exactly that. We've had a very fruitful discussion. I think it's been very open. There's been sufficient participation, and there's going to be a lot of participation on the issues we raised. We've talked about things that are important in facilitating a suitable collaborative and engagement for us to move forward for internet governance in this country. And above all, we've talked about issues of accountability. And my closing remarks are going to be around issues of accountability, because this is where we are feeling the pinch right now. And now I'm putting on my hat as an industry spokesperson on behalf of operators. It is good that we have a strong civil society. It is good that our civil society is able to take action. You go to court, you litigate, you do all that. But at the end of the day, you're leaving the industry limp. We are not able to move. You can't move when your legs are cut. We're talking about universal access. Yet, it's the same civil society that has gone to court and gotten the entire CA board defunct. So CA has no board to authorize any expenses on universal access. Yes, there is a universal access board, but it is an advisory council. The Universal Services Advisory Council has to advise, recommend, and then the board approves, and then implementation of USAC, the USF can begin. We need to take time to understand the government processes and procedures, so that when we engage appropriately. Right now, with a court case standing between CA and CA being able to appoint a board, actually industry cannot move. A number of things operators would like to see CA do can't happen. We have cyber security regulations that have been developed. We can't proceed on them because CA has no board to look and approve so that we can proceed. Let us also be cognizant that part of our being accountability and part of exercising rights means we take responsibility of where we have really, if we do the wrong, we own up. If it was up to me, I would actually beg the guys who are busy taking government to court for every other issue, let us sit and talk. Because in addressing your interests, you're paralyzing the entire industry. Right now, everyone who's under a communication authority licenses is sort of handicapped in terms of moving forward on a number of regulations. How does that help us? Consumers end up bearing the brunt. You and I are the consumers. We cannot fully receive services we're supposed to receive. Why? Because the other procedural issues that need to happen can't happen. Why? Because someone somewhere wasn't appointed to a board and decided they needed to take certain action. Let us be fair, let us be responsible. It's good we are having these discussions, but at the end of the day, take home and closing remarks is we should end up engaging appropriately to govern our space in the right manner so that we do not handicap even the services that need to benefit us, now me personally as a consumer and you as a consumer. Let us always find other means of addressing our issues. This forum was a good example of one place we could do that. Early in the morning when we started, there was a proposal for us to have a dispute resolution panel that handles all the disputes so that we're not always running to court, because we seem to be a very litigious sector. And that litigation is now burning us. Yes, you lit the fire, but the fire is getting too hot. Too hot to touch, too hot to do anything. So probably this will be something else that we'll pick up on KICTANet as a discussion moving forward, so that we can handle ourselves with appropriate checks and balances that will ensure review and redress of issues as and when they arise. I think it is also important for us to appreciate the contributions that have been made by everyone, especially academia. I was happy to see academia representation, because that goes a long way in ensuring that we have a good and deep research and development constituents within our discussions and within our industry and within the programs we want to run with moving forward. And finally, we've talked a few things about critical infrastructure, but just to mention, From January to date, critical infrastructure losses within the ICT sector alone are coming to 559 million Kenyan shillings. When we think of it that way, that's the losses incurred by operators. That has an impact in the quality of service you get when you can't access the internet, when you can't make your phone calls, when you somewhere when your 3G just drops and you're told it's not available, 2G is always available, or you suddenly just lose network. Let us be cognizant of the need to create more awareness, because it is we who are sitting here can go out and create awareness to others. Share what we discuss it with others, so that there is more awareness building as we move along, because we cannot get 1 million Kenyans to sit in a room to discuss this way, but you can be the mouthpiece of these engagements we've had today. So I'm asking you to please go out and be the mouthpiece of what we've discussed. SME support is something that very many people hold dear, and I'm just happy to mention that I've seen a TESPOC member join as an SME when they just formed, and they are now looking to be one of the few local cloud computing firms that the region is going to have to contend with, and a lot of international players are going to have to contend with. Angani's journey began at TESPOC. And when I say, like I've committed today and said, please come and see us, we will do something, TESPOC actually gets it done. We do it, we deliver. So long as you are still, your heart is in it, and you want to see it through, you ask Angani, and they will give you a testimony, so to speak, of the experience and how the journey has been. And with that, I would just like to let all of you know that our doors are open. We are happy to continue this discussion online. We are happy to continue it offline. And we hope that at the end of the day, capacity building, awareness of issues happens a lot by word of mouth. So let us go out and give word of mouth, share. If you write blogs, write about what we've discussed. Share. Let us share what we are discussing. Let us be the ambassadors of internet governance issues in this country. And with that, I say thank you. Thanks, Grace, for being a wonderful moderator. And I'd like to declare the meeting officially closed.
Thank you. You may have some tea outside, and you can leave at your own pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Oh, yako, yes. I haven't, probably I haven't met. Yes.